Hi everybody, I am Matt Zimmerman, CEO of FarSounder, and I'm so excited to be celebrating our 25th anniversary year here with Gill Rodrigues from SeaKeepers Society. She and I finally had the chance to sit down and just have a nice relaxed chat on a beautiful yacht under the not so bright sun today, but really nice for hopefully not burning too much today as well. So it's great to see you, Jill. As always, you are one of my favorite trade show buddies.
It's lovely to be here. I'm Gill Rodrigues. I'm with the International Seakeeper Society. And as Matt says, these boat shows can be incredibly busy, but today we found a quiet corner and we're sitting down together for a little bit of a chat. And I brought my favorite mug with me, which we'll tell you a little bit more about later.
So, you and I have known each other for a really long time. And, maybe with people that are listening and watching us don't know much about us, I thought we could start with giving a little introduction of who we are. So, Jill, tell me about yourself and how did you find yourself here today sitting on this gorgeous yacht next to me?
Right, well, I'm not going to take you back to my school days in Bournemouth and growing up by the seaside, but that obviously was a big motivator for me. But Seakeepers, who I'm with, were founded about 28 years ago now in Monaco. We work with yachts around the world. And the most important thing for us is to connect with those vessels. Those boats are on the water because they have a passion for the ocean, and we bring them science at sea. So they can either have a scientist on board a vessel, they can do some citizen science, education, or get involved in the local community. It's all around the ocean, and that's the history of what Seakeepers in a nutshell is all about.
And how do you get drawn into that whole organization? Like, what brought you there and what motivated you to join that team?
I moved to Florida and I realized Florida was really ground zero for environmental change. You could see it all happening there in front of you. Seakeepers approached me because they were looking for someone to join the team. Um, it was absolutely win-win because I've always grown up by the coast at sea, and I decided to come on board many years ago, back in I think 2014. I joined one of the Belle de la Mer events. It was up in San Francisco during the America's Cup,
Mhm.
and everything that Seakeepers does is around yachts. So I joined, and here I am.
Oh, cool. Well, I'm glad that we finally crossed paths and started working together a couple
We
years.
have been friends for a long time
We have,
because we have that common thing that we love the sea, we love the industry, and we have a passion for the environment. It's a win-win.
absolutely. So, my story, as you already know, I believe,
Yeah.
I started as a student in university working on some new sonar technology, and when it came time to graduate, I like to joke that I wasn't smart enough to know that I should just go out and find a job. Instead, I tried to turn that work in technology into a job, and I helped found FarSounder back in 2001 as the technical founder, and we started shipping our equipment since 2005 around the world. But our early motivation really came from the environmental perspective because we are based in Rhode Island, and in the waters off the coast of New England, North Atlantic right whales make their home there, and being hit by ships is one of the leading causes of death for many of the baleen great whales, and specifically the number one cause of death for the about 380 remaining North Atlantic right whales. So we thought there must be a way for ships and boats to avoid hitting whales. And then similarly, around that same time, there was an oil spill locally off of Moonstone Beach. It was a barge, hit a rock, caused a big hole, spilled a bunch of oil. Okay, it wasn't the Exxon Valdez. In the world of oil spills, it was small, but for us locally, it had a really big impact. So the idea of, again, what could we do to help ships avoid hitting rocks? And when we looked around, we were frankly surprised that nobody made a thing that let them see where the rocks and whales are before they got there. So we said, it can't be that hard. Well, it turned out to be pretty hard. It can't take that long. It turned out to take pretty long. But 25 years later, we are a global organization, systems installed across lots of market spaces, lots of different vessels, and my whole team has really been passionate about how can we enable our users to contribute back to environmental and citizen science efforts. And that's how you and I first connected with Seakeepers in
Well, I
some of our
think
collaborations.
Yeah, I think we immediately identified that we had a common goal together, and there's nothing more important for seakeepers than to work with people who have the same ethos.
Yeah.
And when you have industry that also cares about the environment, it's a perfect collaboration.
Yeah.
And what I've loved working with you over the years is that you see the side from the commercial side, but also, well, what can I give back, what can I do, and how can I make things better?
Well, I mean, that's just my personal opinion. Of course, I want to be successful commercially, but
Yeah,
I also have to live in this world. You have to live in this world.
yeah,
My children have to live in this world. So I'm not saying that the work I do negates any impact I have on our world, but I do think it's important to be conscious about what we are doing, what is our impact. And I'm certain I don't even know all of my impact, but I try.
yeah.
And I think it is not too much to ask that we all at least attempt to be somewhat conscious and try to do something, even a small thing, to help give back. And so we became official partners with SeaKeepers. Okay, we fly the flag. Saying we're partners is one thing,
You've
but
got the pin as well, and the burgee, and probably the water bottle.
I don't actually have a SeaKeepers pin, only the burgee.
Ah, I need to rectify that.
I'm wearing my Seabed 2030 pin because I don't have a SeaKeepers pin.
I think I'm going to pass over mine. No, 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 no. I just grabbed the mic right then. I'm now going to formally present you with the official SeaKeepers pin.
Oh,
this is yours.
Thank you, Kit.
Please wear it with pride.
Thank you, Jill. I appreciate it.
I've got a few more at home, so
Excellent.
it's okay.
So I will put this on right after the video because there's no way I'm going to be able to get it on.
Don't do it now because I
right
just
now.
grabbed the mic, which wasn't a good move.
So, but we've actually done a bunch of things collaborating together. And maybe you want to talk a little bit about the things that we've actually done together, not just sign the paperwork, but actually doing.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people come to us and they say, yes, 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 we want to get involved, we want to partner with you, but they can't specifically identify where that can be, and it takes a long time to find that sweet point where they feel they're going about the right business, they're doing the jobs they want, they're being commercially viable, but they're also supporting SeaKeepers' mission of ocean research and conservation. One thing about working with you, Matthew, is you came ready, prepared, you had the ideas. So we have really enjoyed working alongside you as you produce that new dashboard.
Yeah.
And that dashboard enables people to actually see what they're contributing anywhere in the world. They can go in at any time and they can see the depth findings they're recording if they have a Seabed 2030 logger on board. And
yeah.
we'll tell you more about Seabed 2030.
So you're talking about the crowdsourced bathymetry dashboard.
Yes.
Yeah. So for those of you that do know or don't know, the global ocean has only been a little over 28% mapped, ever. The entire ocean.
And that's quite a good number right now. When we began doing it, what was it in the beginning when they first?
Much smaller.
Yes.
But to me, that's still phenomenal that here we are and less than 30% of the ocean has ever been mapped.
Yeah.
Captain Cook is still official data on some official charts because that is the best measurements they have, that we have. And when we look at coastal areas, only about 50% have ever been mapped, and that's primarily just in the main shipping channels.
Yeah.
Because the organizations, the agencies charged with producing these surveys, they're really charged with enabling commerce. And if you're outside the shipping channel, why do we need to map it?
Which is where we come in.
Yeah.
Because leisure vessels and private vessels hug the coastlines.
Yeah.
And we're collecting the coastline data. The nooks and crannies of every country.
Exactly, and that's where FarSounder's equipment comes in. We're looking out underwater ahead of the vessel, because if you don't have a reliable chart, how do you know where it's safe to navigate? Whether it's ice or coral or rocks, whales, containers, those are all the types of things that our systems see. We also build
and they're moving. It's moving.
Exactly, exactly. But we also build a map of the sea floor, and we enabled our users to share that map anonymously across the fleet, and then we enable them to contribute to Seabed 2030 through our cloud service. It's all anonymous. You're working...
Anonymous is very important, actually. A lot of people, they're very, very concerned they're going to be tracked.
Yeah.
Being anonymous is very important.
Yeah. And we do have some customers that want their name explicitly shown to the world what they're doing, so we can make that happen. But by default, it's all anonymous. And so we're working through the IHO, the International Hydrographic Organization, contributing our data to their database, which then gets integrated into Seabed 2030, which is the global initiative to map the world's oceans through crowdsourcing, through private surveys, through official surveys. And SeaKeepers is also enabling your members with their vessels to install a little tiny box, plugs into their existing stuff, and that data also gets sent to that
into the
same
navigational
database.
system. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're a trusted node. Seabed sends any private vessel comes through us.
Yeah. And so what we did, the dashboard you're talking about, is actually an online web service. It connects to that dashboard, and it lets anyone who contributes see where exactly they've contributed. And in an effort to try and push them along a little bit farther, we actually gamified it a little bit.
Yeah, it's fun. I can do it, you can do it, it's easy.
And so you can see exactly what you did compared to everybody else in that node. So any of your contributors can see.
Bit of competition. As you can imagine, yacht owners, they are slightly competitive. They always want to see who's collected the most data. This enables it.
Yeah, so that was cool because we were doing something already internally. Jill and her team said we could really use a better way to visualize their contributions, and we said let's put it together.
It's so important to show what people are doing, because otherwise it's science for science sake, and nobody wants that.
Exactly.
And you said that better than I did, by the way, that whole description of. Thank you.
Thank you. So maybe we can talk about some of the other things we're doing together.
Should we talk about whales?
So it's time for the famous line.
Yeah. Oh no, I can't do that.
You can do it. You
do it. The ask me one.
We'll do it together. Ready?
No, yeah. Go.
1, 2, 3. Ask
me about whale poop. And on that, I'm going to pick up this, because he says poop, but us Brits say poo. It's my favorite mug.
As I mentioned at the beginning of our conversation, helping to avoid whale ship strike was one of our early motivations.
Yes.
And our equipment is safe for whales, it's safe for the marine environment, and we can detect whales. So with our detections, hopefully the vessel operators will actually do something about it and avoid hitting them. And over the years, we learned a lot about how to operate safely with whales, how to spot and identify them. So we put together this nice little online training class.
This is one he made earlier.
Yeah, this little online training class. And it's all about how to spot and identify whales and safe operations on board. But I recruited a whole bunch of great guest hosts, including a bunch of the team from SeaKeepers.
Yeah, it was Katie Sheehan and Tony Gilbert.
Exactly. So Katie was talking about one particular whale species.
Yeah.
And then after learning about all the whale details, I brought in other guest hosts to talk about citizen science and how you can get involved in whale conservation. So Tony really presented not just the whale side of SeaKeepers, but SeaKeepers in general and how to get involved.
I think whales is a very important research for SeaKeepers.
Yeah.
Because we love working with you, and I think one of the things we're trying to do now is work out ways to standardize how data is collected. Because there's a lot of people, we work also with Orca Ocean Watchers, and we feel that everyone should be feeding into the same.
And they're also guest hosts on that same class.
Yeah.
One of the things that I learned while developing the class, because I knew a lot about how to identify the animals, how to spot them, and how to operate around.
Yeah.
I didn't know a lot about how they fit into the global ecosystem. And before building the class, if you asked me why should I care about whales, well, I thought, well, they're magical creatures. They're pretty, they're unique, they're endangered, we don't want them to go extinct.
But they're more than that, aren't they?
And then that led to these mugs. So I learned about the whale pump. Many of you probably don't know that we get 50% of the oxygen we breathe in the air from phytoplankton, and phytoplankton's primary nutrient source is the whale pump, which is whales diving down deep to feed. They come to the surface to breathe because they're mammals. They do what they need to do, and that, their waste in the surfaces of the water becomes the primary nutrients in that whale pump for the phytoplankton. So if we kill off the whales, we lose the phytoplankton, and we lose half the air we breathe. And in the last 200 years, we've killed about 80% of the whales.
Yeah, we don't like bringing bad news, but I think it's important people are aware.
And today, depending on sources and who you ask, 10 to 20,000 whales a year are killed by being hit by ships, boats of all sizes. Not just the big boats, not just little boats, and everything in between. So personally, I think it's pretty important because I want to breathe. And so I'm a big proponent of, okay, I want to do environmentally conscious things, but I understand that that's not everyone's motivations, but can we do things, can we frame things for even selfish reasons to get people to do good things?
Yeah.
And
some people will do it purely because they don't want damage to their vessel.
Yes.
We don't question the motivation of why somebody comes to support
Correct.
a project, but we welcome all.
Yeah. I think it's also important to realize we're not trying to also greenwash this. just because you participate in a citizen science effort, that doesn't erase your impacts overall, but it is a small thing you can do with close to zero effort. So
Yeah.
why not be doing that anyway?
Close to zero effort's really important.
Yes, and of course you can do bigger projects with
Well,
SeaKeepers,
of
and
course, we have a range. It's really important that we listen to what people want in their areas of interest. And so when people come to us and say, you know, I travel long distances, I see a lot of whales, I know immediately that we can work together on that project. However, if people come to us and say, really keen to do some diving, very interested in corals, or I'm looking to see mantas, or I really want to see more seagrass, we have a project for that.
Yeah.
I think I've just stolen some other projects there, byline there, but we do. SeaKeepers have a range of citizen science projects and scientist-led projects where we have the researcher on board the vessel. But whales right now is a huge project for us.
One of the cool things I like about when you bring a scientist on board is now you can legitimately say you are engaged in a research program, and depending what the program is, that might actually give the vessel access to an area that they wouldn't normally be allowed to go to.
That's very true.
So again, thinking from the selfish perspective, I want to go fly the helicopter and land in this protected area where I'm not allowed to go normally, but the scientists need to get there to do their science. If you can bring them there, you have to land to get there. And now you have the opportunity to go to a place that you wouldn't normally get to go, and you're creating a public good by enabling that science.
That's right, you're there,
you're
in a support capacity.
Conscientious while you're there, so you're not creating a bigger impact, but you get access to those types of experiences in a really incredible way.
It's very true, and not all vessels can take scientists, but that we always try to say, if you can take a science team on board, one scientist, you are really helping that research. Because if you think, the most expensive thing for any researcher is the charter of the vessel. If they don't have to worry about that, they're on board, they're doing their research, they're putting all their money into the analysis, and then the owner is having some really interesting experiences. It's enhancing their trip, and they've got some great dinner party conversations.
So we've talked a bunch about what we're doing today, what we did in the past. Do you have any ideas about what the future holds, like how people might be?
We're going to carry on together, Matthew, you and I, definitely.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Fighting the good fight.
And not just doing what we're doing now, but we're going to find more things to do together, I'm certain.
And also I'm really excited to see how we're working more and more with the sailing community, especially here in Europe. There's some most beautiful sailing yachts who really are close to the water, keen to get involved, and have specific interests. So we're matching them with projects wherever they're traveling. A lot of them are circumnavigating because of the speeds they're going, the slowness they're going, the areas they're stopping off in. We're able to match them with lots of different projects. I think the growth for us is the diversity in how vessels are changing and how people on vessels are now more interested than ever before than not being the problem, but helping the solution. So that's what we're going to do together. We're going to carry on working and bringing opportunities to them.
Yeah, I love that idea of not bringing the problem, being part of the solution.
Yes.
And you know, that was just like with our products. We wanted to help solve problems without creating new ones. So we always made sure that our equipment is safe for the environment.
Yeah, that's why we like working with you.
And we've got some new product things coming down the line in the future that I hope are going to improve safety for the vessels, brings value to our customers and operators, but it's also going to have a way to reduce impact on the environment. And I'm really excited about those new innovations coming down in the future.
And I think SeaKeepers are looking forward to hearing from you, finding out what your interests are, and let's see if we can find that adventure in the years ahead.
And likewise, if you could benefit from a FarSounder forward-looking sonar, please reach out. We'd love to talk to you. Thanks, Jill.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed.
Brilliant.
I enjoyed
as
all
always.
this. Yes.